Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Doing some videos. Today we're going to get started on the Figuarts Shinkkchou Seihou Kamen Rider Birth from Kamen Rider Ooze. So, let's get started. This is a magnificent piece. I was sitting here like wondering with people like how to even get here and talk about this piece. But it's one of those pieces where I'm like, I don't think people understand just how much fun of a piece this is, even though it's very generic in terms of nah, I can't even say generic. It's one of those things where it's like it just works. It works for what it is. It works for what it is in the show. This is a guy in a suit built with technology. Therefore, it shows off its said technology at the time, which is 2013, and I love it. So let's actually get him standing straight up, so you guys can get a straight look at him. And yeah, I gotta say, like, Birth really does look. I hate to say it, he looks very 2013, and I love everything about that. It's like this is a dude who looks really solid and good in what he does. You see that technological look about the Yumi from O's. We actually have a ton of new articulation here that really works for his set design. It's really, really nice. We have our birth driver here. No moving parts here. I really wish that was something that was actually included in it. So it's pretty dope. Let me actually back up just a little bit so we can see, like I said, how we look with it. It looks really good. Now, one thing that does bother me is that the generic design of the visor, which is why with the alternative head, I usually leave that one on because I like the light up visor design a lot more. Now, as far as our articulation goes, we actually have a ton of stunning movement, which looks fantastic. So, as you can see here, we can hit beyond the T-pose, which is fantastic because these pieces being on the shoulders and the way they work make it look utterly fantastic, which is really, really nice. We have a little bit of a wiggle around going. We can look up. We can actually still look down even with our collar being in the way. We have a beautiful forward ab crunch, right? We can move backwards. We can tilt side to side. There's no drop down for our legs, but we do have a beautiful hitting that 90 degrees. We have a thigh swivel going inward and outward. We have a beautiful double joint, right? And like I said, it looks really good posed up. As far as our ankle pivot, probably one of the more generous sides of ankle pivot, right? As you can see here, we actually have a very generous ankle pivot. So that means when we're getting posed up with our beautiful double joints, right? We actually look utterly fantastic posed up. Now, one thing about Akira Date, which is the birth of the show, Mans has two fantastic skills, one of them being that of boxing and the other being wrestling moves. So this guy uses tons of boxing and wrestling references, which is really fun for the character, especially in its design. And I actually love it because it works here with his sleek design. I really, really do love it. Now, by the time I'm reviewing this, I'm back from conventions. So what sucks is the Claw Sasori set come out and I actually missed out on that. So I am going to actually try to track that down and do a video for that as well. But it's really cool to see this guy like really move around in motion. I'm really a big fan of Akira Date and the birth design. And the Claw Sasori set really nails it for me. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later towards the end of the video because the old set, you can use some of the older parts, but the Claw Sasori set for the Shinkkchou Seihou is way, way, way better. So let's get to jumping into and talking about our accessories. All right, now we're going to talk about accessories. Now, I know I mentioned this before. I love our light up visor head. This is way more of a preference for me with our light up visor here on the side. Looks way more fantastic and gives a lot more range and look to it. Like, I'm just going to pop this off, pop this back on. And as you can see, for character design, as you can see, this looks a lot better with our light up design. I actually love this a whole lot more. It definitely fits the vibe a lot more for me. So next up on our accessories, we actually get the Birth Buster. The Birth Buster is really, really nice. This is his it's basically all-around gun, right? You can actually slide this out, right? And you can put it on the front to make a super cannon. Let's actually move this up. I'm trying out one of my really old lenses because I think I may have lost one of my lenses on my trips, which sucks. But yeah, so here we are for to make the larger cannon. Now, if you don't want to make the larger cannon, you actually do this, make it drop down to make a machine gun pattern. There are 3 different configurations for it. So you have the standard top up. You have, I believe this one is the Gatling mode, right? And then we have our normal power mode. So yeah, You have a bunch of options for that. Next up, you'll get a bunch of hand accessories. One of the things you also get is core medals. So they will actually give you some core medals. Dante system is based off of that with the core medals. So you'll actually get some thumbs up hands, which is perfect for Dante. And I bought 2 births because I don't know if they're going to do Proto Birth. So I'm going to do the SHF upgrade stickers. So here's a thumbs up. You'll also get a pointing hand for his right hand side. Next up, you will get 2 open palm hands. These are going to be like your action grabbing hands for your Birth Buster. But you can also use them to grab people with it too, because they're large enough to actually grab other characters, which is cool, especially when you want to do wrestling moves. You get a metal holding hand with our left hand. So in the left hand, you will get a core metal holding hand. See, and it's not focusing, which sucks, but there we go. You get a core metal holding hand. And then last but not least, you're going to get 2 trigger hands, which is pretty important, obviously, if you want to hold the Birth Buster. And they make it ambidextrous, so if you want to do the double Birth Buster, it's totally fine. Now, we went over our accessories. We're going to take a second to talk about the old Claw Accessory set. So, I'm going to take a second, and we're going to talk about that real fast. Alright, now, what I did was, I brought in some of the old parts here. As you can see, they use the same peg. So, these are the old Claw Accessory parts. So, technically, if you want it, you can still use these. They actually sit on the peg just a little bit loose. But if you're going to do like an action shot or something like that, you can definitely make it work. But I do recommend you get the new one. I am going to use this old can though, because it does still work with the SHF. It's a little smaller, a little outdated, but it'll look good in photos. And like I said, if you want to do something like with the the drill arm, here you are. Like I said, it's really funny because you can actually get these all to work. So yeah, it's a good look. But obviously the colors are off, the pegs don't match, it's going to fit loose. But if you're doing it, like I said, for just some action photos, I think you'll be just fine. Now, one thing I'm working on here is, as you can see, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this lens is working overtime to try to keep everything in focus, but you can hear it. So it might be a little bit on the annoying side, but I'm trying to make things work because I work in a very small setting. Therefore, the camera adjusts. Oh, it's like the camera adjusts wildly in overtime. But let's take a second to get ready for our size comparison, and I'll see you guys in a sec. All right, let's jump into the size comparison. First off, let's do it with Kamen Rider O's, who is the main character of the said series, and who he's usually partnered with. Again, this autocorrect camera I'm working with, we're trying. This small area I realize is just not cutting it, but doing my best. So here we are with O's, here we are with Birth. Now, let's throw another rider in there. Here we are, a non-Shinkkchou Seihou, which will be Black Sun. He's a little bit bigger. And as you can see here, I think he kind of holds up pretty well. Right? Now, let's remove these guys. Next up, we're going to do a G.I. Joe Classified. So here we are with a Bat. Now, as you can see, Birth is smaller, but I don't mind it. Tech on tech, right? Here we are with a Valorverse Undercover Condor. So as you can see, he is indeed smaller than that of other lines. Let me just turn this down just a bit. There we go. It's a little bright on that side. So, now we're going to try a Marvel Legends and a AI Ninja. So here we are with the AI Ninja Tatsumi. Then we have Crossfire from Marvel Legends. Looking pretty good. Again, SHF is smaller, but it does look pretty good. Next up, here we are. For whatever reason, if you want to put it up to a Mezco, here's Mezco Conan. And then here is a Cosmic Legion Spexian Prison Block, the head guard, the prison guard. So as you can see what you're getting with that. But yeah, overall, I like what we're getting into. I like what we have. SHF is on smaller, but I'm a big Kamen Rider guy, so expect some Kinnikuman level moves out of Birth. A lot of boxing, punching, physicality coming from Birth, as well as a little bit of mix and match fun. So expect him to go up against some of these guys as well. But I do want to thank you guys because I've been away for weeks, and I'm trying to get back to videos. So this will be one of them. I'm gonna try to get 3 or 4 out before I'm back on the road. But I hope you guys enjoy. So thank you so much for being patient, supporting me. If you've seen me at the shows, thank you so much for saying hi. It's been great. I'm trying to get my voice back as well. So as always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.